Hey everyone, welcome to Shoot the Shit Saturday Night. And it's me, your host, the man with the most, the guy who can toast the whole East Coast. It's the Boston bad boy, Jason Rumble. And tonight's program ought to be kind of interesting. We're going to cover the latest rounds of the WWE, let's just call it how it is, the firings. And a lot of disgruntled people out there, especially the wrestling fans, at most. So at this time, I'm going to bring in one person at a time, and we're going to go over Survivor Series predictions. The APOC himself, Mr. Stiff Fight King. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm all right.
Can
I'm
you
gonna
hear
be
me?
like you today.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what the headphones bring to it? Talk. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Now I can hear you
There
now.
you go.
So I've been watching some of them programs on like YouTube and things of that nature, and it seems like when a person's talking with headphones and a microphone on,
Yeah,
the sound is that much more crisper.
it is.
So tonight, Mike, we'll talk the 8 releases. We'll get in depth on them. It's just not just the releases itself. The many conspiracy theories that are behind the releases. So at this time, I'll let the producer of the Jason Rumble Show, Shoot the Shit Saturday Night, Mr. Mickey Biggs, the new member of Team USA Strongman. Mickey, how you doing tonight?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. And evidently,
Clark, how's it
Adam
going?
Jack Pelly, who is, I see you in the room. I'm bringing one people in at a time, brother. No need to wave your arms and go, help me. I'm right here. Buddy, we understand. You were the last person to come into the room. You will be the last person that will air on the show.
So stop crying.
Whining. So, Mickey, tonight we're gonna, like I said, I feel we'll go in depth on the 8 releases. It's not just the releases; it's what's behind the releases. What you may think, what I may think, the opinion of the, so to speak, wrestling fan that we've been reading out there. We'll go over some SummerSlam, not SummerSlam. I'm really kicking ahead there. Survivor Series predictions. So. Without further ado, let me bring to you the man who loves to wave his arms while he is in gorilla position to get into the gorilla position, Mr. AJP himself, the impatient one, Adam Jack Pelly.
I apologize. I thought you didn't see me. You're starting without me. I apologize,
No,
Rumble.
you were the last one to enter the studio this week.
Who can't?
I'm
who
usually
can
right
remember
on the
that
ball.
big head?
I'm usually right on the ball.
Yes, you are.
Uh-huh.
So tonight, we'll get into the 8 releases. It's not so much what we've been watching. Everybody can talk about Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night NXT, and Wednesday Night Dynamite, Friday Night Rampage, Friday Night SmackDown. You know what I mean? I just feel this week with the 8 releases and the added animosity, so to speak, that you're seeing from the fans of the wrestling world. And not only that, but just some of, like, Tyra Valkyrie, the girlfriend of John Morrison.
Wife.
Yep, wife. Okay. Well, that even adds more to, the conspiracy theory on why I believe that John Morrison became one of the releases that was set forth present this week. But, we'll get into that. Tonight, it's a huge night of indie wrestling. I just know from my little fire stick here, You got Impact's pay-per-view. Dave Marquez is going to wrestling. The Wrestling Network is doing a big show tonight. Right now, for the past half hour, I've been watching Pale Pro Wrestling, Pit Blastoff. It seems they just had Buddy Matthews, formerly Buddy Murphy, on the first half main event against some indie kid. It was a pretty good match, but let's turn the floor over. Mike, the 8 releases.
Well, I'm gonna Hit Row is the one that really baffles me, but again, it doesn't baffle me because they probably threw a fit because they let BFAB go.
Yeah.
So they probably said, "Well, if that's how it's going to be, you can go right along with her."
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Sorry, go ahead.
Morrison got let go because his wife got let go, and he probably was not happy about it. She ran her mouth immediately. I don't disagree with what she says, to be honest with you. Some of the releases in the past haven't made sense. The people that released this time, they really weren't using to begin with. The only ones that really baffled me was Hit Row. They just brought him up to SmackDown. They were pushing him, and then, I mean, Top Dollar, he did that whole series where they were finding missing artifacts or whatever you want to call it from the WWE past, like the Undertaker stuff, Mick Foley stuff. Like, that was their boy, and all of a sudden he's gone. It baffles me for that. I didn't really watch much wrestling this week because I put in 64 hours and I've been dead tired all week. But they're just going to keep releasing people. They have so much talent under contract, waiting in the wings. They're just going to keep releasing people and bring new people in. And it's basically either sink or swim, like I said before.
So what you're saying to me right now, if I heard you right, is that.
Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, if I heard you correctly, Top Dollar has been basically accused of stealing artifacts.
No. So, do you remember that they ran a series where they were looking for missing items from history, like Mankind's original mask?
Yeah. It was the show. It was on the
Peacock.
A&E.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
No, A&E.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was the host of that. Like, he was
really?
the one. Yeah. If you go back and watch it, it's him. You go back and he was the one that would go out with the superstars and find their stuff and put it in the museum or whatever they were trying to do at the time. And it just didn't make any sense. It baffles me because he was training and doing that, and then he got put in Hit Row, and then all of a sudden now he's gone. So I think as a collective, and I didn't hear this, I'm just speculating, they probably were upset that they let BFAB go. So they said, well, there's the door. You can go with her.
Yeah. If I could say something right thing.
So let me put this up, Jeff. Pelly, wait 1 second there, and I'll let you get right to it. So Jeff Ferguson has 2 things he wrote here. We all can look at that. Well, there is that, and they also gave them 1 match and 3 segments when they got called up to the main roster. This is a good one right here. Also, Top Dollar was accused of being a racist when he made a rap diss towards Jinder Mahal and his bodyguard.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Right. He's definitely right. I mean, and again, I mean, this whole cancel culture is just, it baffles me. You can't even do a work anymore because people get all upset. We were talking about this at the last APW show, how kids nowadays would never, ever, ever, ever survive training that me and Jay went through, or even Jack Pelly and you, Mickey Biggs, how we were treated when we first came into business. I got my butt kicked every day. by
Yep.
Trey, Smooth Operating Gangster, by Matt Bloom, all them guys beat the crap out of us. But
Guaranteed.
that's how we learned. If we just got, if Walter took our hand and said, okay, this is how you do it, we wouldn't be who we are today. We wouldn't, and it's just, there was a situation. I don't know if you know who she is. Do you know Sarah Teller? Anybody know who she is?
Sounds familiar, but I'm
Well,
not really big on the Boston, aka Massachusetts indie scene.
well, she's 5'2", and I got some footage sent to me of guys beating the crap out of her because they said that she wasn't selling properly. Well, you know me when it comes to that. You want to put your hands on a 5'2" woman? Put your hands on me and see what happens. Because I'm not happy, and 2 of them are booked for APW next month. It's gonna be a good day in the locker room. I'm gonna tell you that much right now. Because I am gonna speak my mind, and if they don't like it, there's the door.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't do that. I mean, if do it to somebody who can defend themselves, not a 5'2" girl. She's 5'2", 120 pounds. You're gonna wait a beating on her?
I'll say this: the only one side I understand is that it's the art. If you don't know how to sell, we'll teach you how to sell. But when you have 120-pound girl that you're
That's my
right
point.
is
That's my point.
5 foot nothing, and you got a bunch of men beating up this girl. But then again, let's. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
flip it to. Let me just flip it to the other side of the coin, Mike, because I'm right there with you. And just hear me out. These guys that are wrestling nowadays, they have made the intergender match that much more popular. So now, with this being said, and don't take this the wrong way, with nowadays, with these girls going in there and wrestling legit men in men matches, I'd hate to say I think this is going to be a recurring problem in professional wrestling until they go back to the art of men wrestle men, women wrestle women, because in life that's the way it is. This is the only thing about this cancel culture gimmick that if they truly wanted to cancel culture, why on earth would you bring domestic man on woman violence into a professional wrestling ring where people watch it and believe, and some people believe, that it's not a work?
well, I agree with that statement. I don't. As being, I don't know. Some people say I'm out of touch. I don't think I'm out of touch. I just think I'm a realist. It shouldn't be. It should be women versus women, men versus men. That's the
True.
way. That's the way it should be. Um, you have certain people who are of other sexual orientation, and whatever they are, they are. I don't. That doesn't bother me. But they feel that they can wrestle women because they're gay, and that doesn't. You're still a man. Whether you are gay, bi, straight, orange, green, blue, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're a man, you should be wrestling a man. If you're a woman, you should be wrestling a woman. It's just the way I am, and I'm not being disrespectful to anybody. I'm not being, out of order. I'm just speaking my mind. And for 3 guys to lay a beating on a 5'2" girl is unacceptable in my
Yeah,
book.
I
You know,
agree.
and
Yeah,
it was sent to me. It was. Go ahead, Pelly.
we've been on tour before. I'm not going to name any names, but there was a male wrestling a female, and they were the same size. But the male tried to strike the female. And I know Rumble, I think he knows who it is, came back afterwards and he said, "What are you doing? You're a guy. You don't strike a female." I guess that's just the point I'm trying to prove what you guys are already saying right now. So.
It's that forbidden door in wrestling, I guess, that a heel. Dan, that statement holds no water with me. I don't give a shit if it gets 10 million people on the card. That's not my point. My point is Sarah
Dan
Teller is
Bellevue.
5'2".
Do you?
5'2".
Yeah, I'll be honest with you there, Mr. Dan Bellevue. I see that you follow a lot of professional wrestling. You do a wrestling podcast, but I have a 5-year-old son that watches wrestling habitually, and he believes this shit is real. And you don't know how many times I've had to pull him off his 11-year-old sister, okay? Because he will say to me, well, I seen a man beating up a woman on a wrestling match, Daddy. So it's okay to do it. No, it's not okay to teach a boy to strike a girl, and it is not good for a girl to strike a man. I'm sorry.
Yes, I agree with you, Rumble.
Absolutely.
So back to what I was saying before, and Dan, I'm not being a jerk to you now. We know who you are, and we get it. I understand where you're coming from, but like APW wants to do away with all that. They don't even want to like do intergender matches at all. So I mean, I just for me, it's not right. You know, you're a guy and you're 6 foot something, you're 280 pounds or 300 pounds, and you're smacking around a 5'2" woman. The footage that was sent to me, it tweaked me bad. It like tweaked me really bad.
Dan, I respect your opinion, man. That's what the show is here. That's why we like to go live. I love the opinions. I love the comments being put up there. Myself, I grew up in the 80s where my mom and dad battled tooth and nail. I came from an abusive family, a household that I'm glad my grandmother took me out of that household so that I knew right from wrong. And no matter what anybody wants to say, there are people out there that believe professional wrestling is real. And when they see a man and a woman violently striking each other, I can't find a justifiable way to say, oh, it's just a fake wrestling match. What does it matter? That's all. And call me old fashioned, but I mean, I've gotten shouting arrangements with my wife, but I've never put my hands on my wife. I will not do that.
Right.
Regardless if we was gonna wrestle in the ring that I own or wrestle in our kitchen. It ain't gonna happen.
So back to the releases.
Go ahead, Mike.
Anybody see the video that Drake Maverick posted?
No.
No.
Good for him. He did it like a split personality. He did it as Drake Maverick, upset about being released. Then he walked in talking to himself as Rockstar Spud. It was amazing. So again, this guy was released once before, pulled this gimmick, and got rehired. So let's see what happens if he does it again. Capelli, what's going on, brother?
Read what it says. Hey, oh, you did. You would acknowledge me. Okay.
Acknowledge that freaking dome. Shut the lights off. We're all blind now. Jesus Christ.
Acknowledge.
I just like to talk about the releases for a bit. We were talking about Hit Row, and I think the one person they should have kept from Hit Row, and we were talking about him earlier, was Top Dollar. He was a big guy that Vince McMahon likes. Big guy, plus he was great on the stick. Did you ever hear of his rapping? It was on gorilla position.
Yep.
Fantastic on the stick. Swerve Scott, don't get me wrong, amazing wrestler, but I just didn't think he was as great on the stick as Top Dollar. Should have kept him around.
His personality is like a wet towel.
Yes.
Plus, with John Morrison just wasn't the same when The Miz left. With The Miz and him, I thought it was great chemistry and great together, but when The Miz left, everything, John Morrison dropped the ball.
Well, Miz is coming back, I guess, next week.
Well, with the combination,
you can't say The Miz dropped the ball because The Miz wasn't given a chance
John
to have
Morrison dropped the ball.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Morrison didn't drop the ball. He never got a chance to even carry the ball. He became
Agreed.
a comedy actor.
Agreed.
He became a
Exactly.
comedy actor,
He did.
and that's not Morrison's fault. That's Vince, Kevin, Big Johnny, and good old Bruce's fault.
Yeah,
I
agree
don't.
with that.
I think that John Morrison simply was part of the waiver wire for his wife's outburst on online.
Social media, yeah. Oh, she blew him
I'm
up.
sorry, but that's
Blew
the
them
way I
up.
think. As
Yeah,
soon as I
but her
seen
comment
her write that,
after he
but
got released.
what?
That comment came after he got released.
I thought it came 2 days before the releases happened.
No, she
No.
did say stuff before he
I
got
heard she
released.
was very boisterous. As soon as her release happened, she had been very boisterous on social media aspects a few different times.
She made comments after he was released.
Oh yes, but she also made comments when she was released. 24 hours later, I seen the post on Twitch.
Okay, I was talking about the ones that she just made with him. That's what I thought you meant.
No, I'm talking about the one she made about herself and the WWE not caring and this, that, and the other. I believe
Not
that
wrong.
That statement was made after Morrison
okay.
got released.
Then
But-
there was ones before talking about herself.
But the thing of it
She's
is,
not
she
wrong,
wasn't
though.
that. No, she's not wrong, and she wasn't
No.
that good in the ring to begin with.
She was the shits.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. But she's not wrong about what she's saying about WWE because they don't care at all. It's all about money, and it's like they're cutting the roster down to like. I think somebody put a report out. There's only like 9 women on the main roster right now on SmackDown,
Yep.
and like 12 on Raw.
Yeah, but you're talking a 2-hour show and a 3-hour show, so
Right. Well, and like I said last week, Raw should be cut down to 2 hours just because the 3 hours is horrible.
because it sucks.
I watched SmackDown
Yeah, well-
last night, and I thought SmackDown was I thought SmackDown, like I'll continue to say it, SmackDown's the show, man.
That's
Yeah,
because they got Fox
They
writers.
told a
That's
great
why.
story. They opened up with a great story last
Yep.
night. They opened up
They
with a
did.
great story.
I love the whole thing with the King Crown gimmick. Xavier Woods. I fell asleep before the main event. I had watched it. I started watching around 11:30 at night last night. But I'm being honest. I'm more captured by the SmackDown product. NXT is eh. I liked Tommaso this week, but Monday Night Raw, I didn't watch anything. What made me not want to watch is I saw what Forbes posted, and the Capelli said something after. So I said, yeah, this is probably just going to get erased off my DVR. And yeah, I think I watched.
And I could
Go ahead.
reiterate what I said last week. I could reiterate what I said last week about Bryan Danielson being one of the best wrestlers of our age when he turned heel this week, and the job he did doing that. That just goes
Yep.
to show how great a wrestler he is.
So Capelli, what's your take on these releases? What's behind it? What do you think's going on? Like I have my own perception, but I want to hear from you guys, and then I'll get into my conspiracy theory on the whole thing.
I'm going to tell you what I think it is. It's just, an opinion. But it goes back to things I've already been saying. Every person that was released, not a single one of them really was ever going to be quality television for the WWE. They were not what the WWE would call a quality sports entertainer. And I made a comment on the Gorilla Position in writing, and I said the difference between the main difference between the WWE and you could say Impact, Global Force Wrestling, TNA, Ring of Honor is the WWE as a company that has given us entertainment using wrestling as the tool of its means versus AEW, Impact, and such. They are professional wrestling companies supplying us entertainment. There's a huge difference between the two. And the people that were released, once again, for the WWE, they're never going to be more than mid-carders. Let's be honest. And at that level, it's like, chew them up, spit them out, and it's take a swing, and hopefully you hit one or two out of the park. And if you fail on 20 of them, their average at cost, their pay cost, contracts, legit contracts. None of them, they're all really contracts at will. None of them permanent. You're only a temporary employee there when you really think about it. So, honestly, that's what it is. Not the people that were released. I'm not shocked. And none of them I looked at and said they're going to do anything in the WWE beyond being a fucking mid-card. If they won, mid-carder, but most likely mid-card jobber. Or involved in fucking stupid story angles like running around the ring, chasing the 24/7 champ. I mean, it's what it is. And that's my opinion.
Mickey Biggs, what do you think?
Well, I agree with Capelli on that. I think it's if you look at everything and you look at the way it's going on, WWE is the Hollywood of professional wrestling, and everyone else is the B-rated reels of professional wrestling. And Vince only wants the best of the best, or what he deems as the best. And sometimes he overlooks some of the talent that he does get rid of. Sometimes he doesn't. In this case, I have to agree with Capelli. There wasn't anyone in particular on there that I could see that was going to be the next big thing, if you will.
Yep. So you don't think the Hit Row had a chance to be merchandise sellers?
No.
Nope. No. You already
never.
You have Usos, and you have it with the Smoke there, the Street Profits. The Hit Row, that was an NXT gimmick. It was never going to last, and it wasn't that good.
Okay.
The only guy but I said this before, the only guy that had a chance was Top Dollar. He had a chance to be molded into I think a top card guy. He had the chance.
Kelly, can I tell you something? I'm with you sort of to an extent on him being WWE material, whether or not it was top card or mid card. But I believe that he, out of a lot of the big guys that NXT has employed, and he, out of a lot of them, had that chance to work the way Vince likes. But I think Vince McMahon looks and says, my big guy of the future right now is a guy named Odyssey Jones. And let's just hope they don't drop the ball on that.
See, I think Vince is looking at one particular person in NXT, and he will I'll put money on it. 2 to 3 God, he'll be the next big upcomer.
Who's this?
Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why though?
Because he's got a look.
What?
He's got a look. He's meaning the size. He's built the brick shit house. He's not a bad-looking kid. He has a wrestling pedigree, and they'll work with him on the mic.
What good is a wrestling pedigree if you're not going to utilize the last name?
Because they didn't use. Hey, listen, they utilized Bray Wyatt's last name, and he did pretty well as Bray Wyatt. Wrong? I mean, not every wrestler that has used the last name, and it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at fucking what's his kid.
Can I tell you, I look at Braun Breaker, and maybe I'm crazy, and I know I'm crazy, but I don't really. I look at him as being Scott Steiner 2.0.
And Scott Steiner was huge.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Did you like the quip Tommaso Ciampa used with the 33.3% chance of winning next week?
Yes.
Do you see that? I kind of like.
The difference between Scott Steiner and Braun Breaker is Braun Breaker can work, Scott Steiner can't.
Exactly.
Not anymore, but Scott Steiner was one of the better
Scott
workers.
Steiner was one of the best,
Best
young
work.
workers in the business when they first were the Steiner brothers.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
until he started putting the needle in his arm.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah. Well,
You forget-
overly putting the needle in them.
Yeah,
They were
overly.
already juiced up.
Scott Steiner was one of the first guys to ever do the Huda Corrado, the Frankenstein.
Yep,
off
in the
top
United
rope.
States, to the top
United
rope. You're right.
Guy. I mean, he was innovative back in the day, and then he wrestled WWE style, TV style.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Again, it's
All right. So I have a very huge conspiracy theory on why a lot of these budget cuts, so to speak, as they're calling them.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one.
No. I think a lot of it has to do with the foreseeable economy of the United States of America, to tell you the truth.
Okay,
number one.
I thought you were
No,
gonna go. I thought you were gonna go the fingers way.
No,
I was gonna
no,
have to yell
no.
at you.
This has to do with what's going on in the U.S. as far as everything is rising as far as a price and a cost. And I'm
Tell me
telling
about
you,
it.
I believe Vince McMahon, he's smarter than the average dude. He's looking at it right now and saying, I need to have people in this economy come out to watch my product. He needs, and in order for him to keep the money level the way he needs to keep the money level, because they're looking into the live show part of everything, I think that's where you come up with trimming the fat, so to speak. I wouldn't be surprised that within 6 months that the brand split is over and done with. That Fox has their product, they do what they do with the same people that Monday Night would have. And I believe it becomes a rotating roster for Monday and Friday nights. I have a feeling that you'll even see some of them same stars with them cutting the fat, potentially in NXT even more.
all right, Jay. So let me jump in real quick because I'm going to debunk something you just said, but I agree with some of what you said. So I'm going to tell you what I agree with. I agree with the fact that, again, it ties back to what I said, that Vince is getting rid of the people who just have no marketability. They're never going to be any WWE. Vince, pretty much at this point and stage of the game, wants the people that he can market and that are going to make him money. Absolutely, 100%. And
So I'll take it.
I don't think it has anything to do with the economy. It has to. It does and it doesn't. It's more about business. And at this point, it's Vince saying, I want to make money. I want to keep making money. He also has bigger people to answer to now. He has networks that he has two individual networks. And this is where I'm going to debunk your brand split, because part of the agreement of the brand split, and Fox having SmackDown and Raw having what it is that they have two distinct separate rosters. So even though we all want the brand split to end, it will not end, because SmackDown wants its own product. It wants its own thing. That's why, unfortunately, we won't see Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion, because they have to have their own team, their own thing. It's the brand split will not happen. I'm sorry to say. I wish it would, and it would end, but it's not going to happen, because that's in the contractual deals that they have with their two separate networks. But Vince answers the higher powers now. He answers pretty much, in a way, to Hollywood, to network Hollywood.
Yep.
And, he sold his soul there, and that's what he wanted. And, I think that's why you see. And I said this when I was on last time. Rumor has it there's going to be cuts every 6 months. Every 6 months, they're going to cut people and they're going to bring in new, or they're going to cut people that aren't cutting it. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if in the next round of cuts you don't see, and unfortunately, but yet you don't see a Liv Morgan get cut or a Nikki Ash get cut. I not going to be shocked to see those girls get cut because technically, right now, I mean, yeah, Liv Morgan's doing a thing with Becky, but they're not going to put the strap on.
They
You know,
should.
they should, but you'll probably see, and I'll go so far to say you're going to be shocked with this one. But I have a feeling you're going to see our friend Todd and Eric cut in the next year. Because again, I know, but think about it. They've been relegated to mid-card, almost jobbing duty at this point. At one time, Eric was running. I mean, it's just they're not being marketed. And what's going to happen is Vince is going to say, all right, you know, or they'll outright ask for their release. But I can't see them asking for the release, not now.
Can I tell you, between you and me, I know for a fact that Stephanie McMahon has a huge favoritism towards Todd, Kofi, and Tommaso Ciampa. So I will find it very, very hard to see Todd leave that company no matter what. I have a feeling Todd ends up with a job in the Performance Center.
Jay, remember who Hunter had, all the people who Hunter has had close ties with.
Yeah, I get you.
One of them named Finn Balor, who's now once again relegated to fucking status. And I'm not wrong. I mean, you guys have to agree. Balor is probably one of the most talented wrestlers there, and is once again relegated to nothing status. So you know what? I'm sorry, Jay, but Stephanie and Hunter do not have the pull that we think, or at least they used to have, because, and I said this months ago, Kevin Dunn, Johnny, Big Boy Johnny, and Bruce Pritchard are consistently in the ear of Vinnie Mac, and Vinnie Mac is listening to them. And it's been evident in everything that has happened in the last 6 months.
There's a program I've been listening to once a week on YouTube. I think it's BTS, if I'm not mistaken. And this dude says some pretty good stuff. And one of the things that he talked about was what is Triple H thinking right now? Like, what must be going through his mind? And he said, he basically came out and said he would not be surprised if Triple H left the company just like Shane McMahon did. And it was not saying that he was going to go and do things in wrestling, but just leave the company because of all the stuff that he did, laying the groundwork for all these NXT superstars that are just being released with absolutely no thought process by the front office. And this guy seems to think that Triple H is going to leave the WWE within the next year.
Look what happened, Rumble. They NXT 2.0, and right when it started, he's in the hospital.
Yep.
I agree. I was reading an article about that very same thing today.
It wouldn't be for him to go and start up a company. It would be him for just point blank leaving wrestling, number one, also because he doesn't have a foreseeable ring future.
Well, he has no foreseeable ring future. I mean, he can't. I mean, that'd be crazy. There's no need for him to either. But, Jay, it's inevitable. If you were at a job, think about it. If you're at a job and everything you did at that job, the person above you let you do all this work, and then, like, let's say you build buildings for a living, right? You build all these buildings, and you're building these marbles, and they're in magazines, and people are talking about you, saying what a constructor you are, what a builder you are, what an engineer of this what you're doing, and then the person you work for just said, I don't like it, tear it down. I don't like it, tear it down. Get rid of it, sell it off. I don't want it, get rid of it. Eventually it catches up, and you're going to say, okay, and the writing's on the wall. The hard part is he's married to Stephanie, and Stephanie's never leaving the WWE. So, and this guy threw out the fact that could there be marital problems between Stephanie and Triple H? I don't know.
Or could Could this lead to a potential marital problem between Stephanie and Triple H?
I go the other way. I think it's leading to a problem between Stephanie and Vince.
Really?
I personally feel, my opinion, for what you read and what I see, she supports her husband 100%. And
Yes,
she sees the writing on the wall. And she's revolutionary too. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's the other way. I think because she can't leave, but I think that what it does is it will eventually cause a rift, in my opinion, if it continues this way, between Stephanie and Vince.
So you're telling me potentially Daddy's little girl, things could bust it that way.
I think it damages their relationship, but I don't think. I do think Hunter. Think about this. What if Hunter Hearst Helmsley fucking gets joined? Hypothetical, and it could happen. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, it gets involved as a silent partner with a group, who turns around, makes an offer to Ring of Honor, gets Ring of Honor back on the map, and guys like Keith Lee and all these wrestlers that are getting released now start going to this Ring of Honor, and then Hunter breaks down the fourth door with, the fourth wall with the forbidden door, as they call it, with, say, AEW and some of these other companies, and then, like you're right, you said, what if he leaves? And then, like I told you, he's gonna have at least a minimum of 1 year no compete clause against him, But think about what happens after that. And then Hunter Hearst Helmsley walks on television and says, yeah, I'm the owner of Ring of Honor, and screw you, and puts him back on national television. I mean, things like that could happen.
Does Shawn Michaels follow him? Does Shawn Michaels follow Triple H?
It depends on what happens. I mean, if Triple H leaves and goes to another wrestling company, maybe. What if Triple H leaves and goes to Hollywood? Or Triple H leaves and starts up a new business?
Mickey Biggs, this is where you come into play right now.
Yeah,
I want you to talk about what you told me earlier.
There's rumor going around, and I read it today, and it was actually confirmed with a tweet from not Bray Wyatt, but Braun Strowman.
I heard it.
And there was a tweet that went out by Braun Strowman, and it's confirmed by him, saying that he'd be open to the idea of getting together with Bray Wyatt and Karen Cross to form a new promotion, and that at some point they would bring in somebody else to make it a triple threat.
Yep. And that
could
be Ring of Honor.
Exactly. And that where he hinted at the fact of the triple threat, that could mean Triple H.
Yep. Come on, Mike. I know you're biting at the bit right now after this to talk.
and I do think that, like you guys are saying, he does see the writing on the wall, and it's getting to a point where he's looking and saying, you know what, I need to leave the WWE.
So we're going to debunk all this right now because WWE made an offer to Ring of Honor for $2.5 million for their complete library.
For the library, not the company.
If they own the library, they own the company.
That's not true. That's not a true statement. They own the video footage of past. They don't own any of the video footage of anything new. Just what they're buying, like you said, the library of everything that they've recorded.
Triple H ain't going nowhere. He knows eventually he's going to be in charge of WWE with Stephanie, and everything will turn. I don't see him going anywhere. He could, but I don't buy it.
Mike, I don't care. I know if I was Triple H, dude, I'd be bull crap. If what I did for the past 5 to 6 years.
Oh, I'm sure I would too. I'm not.
Triple H basically retired from pro wrestling to take on this position to get Vince the guys of the future. if Vince McMahon at this point did the color by number, so to speak, AEW wouldn't even be talked about because these young guys would be doing what they did on the black and gold brand, on the red brand, on the blue brand, and just things would be professional wrestling as we know it. WWE would be hitting scales that we have never seen before. And instead, they're hitting headlines and not good ones like we've never seen before.
Hey, let me jump in real quick. Mike, you're not wrong. I do, even though I'd love to see it, I think you're right, Mike. I don't think Hunter goes anywhere because I think that he just wouldn't make the jump, partly because it's his wife, and also partly because I think everyone knows when Vince finally steps down.
When is that though? Vince.
Well, but I understand it's coming soon because he's giving him Raw, so we'll see. He's giving Triple H Raw.
Here's my 2 cents so I can jump in right quick. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I don't think there should be any more wrestling promotions because if you have a company, you can only have like so many belts because it saturates the product. It's the same with too many companies. You have too many companies, I believe in some sort of way it saturates the product. I think right now you have enough fans tuned into certain companies. Right now, there's enough viable wrestling companies because maybe there's more because Ring of Honor is shutting down, right? Because there's enough wrestling companies out there to watch.
That's the thing, though, Kelly. You know what? I agree to a point, but I don't think a company like Ring of Honor needs to go debunked because Ring of Honor started a niche. Ring of Honor, we have to admit, Ring of Honor in my opinion, rescued the indie wrestling scene. Ring of Honor came at a time when the indies were dying. They were dead in the water. You couldn't get 100 people in a fucking building. Even if you had Rob Van Dam versus Booker T, you weren't getting 100 people in the fucking building.
It was hard enough to get 42 people to buy seats to come into the storage unit that we had our wrestling ring in at Wakefield.
So the point is a company that helped revitalize and put life back into the indies. And the way they did it and the people that came out of Ring are some of the top wrestlers today. So that's why I agree. I don't want to see a ton more companies, but I'd like to see a company like Ring of Honor get resurrected. Because if we had ECW today, and I said it in the past, ECW would be fucking putting if they were ECW, they would be selling out 20,000 seat arenas because the product that you're getting from Vince versus the product you got from ECW, if it was the same thing just now, he'd be able to put it in 20,000 seat arenas and sell it out. It'd be better than ECW.
I watched GCW, and for the past 4 years since I started watching Game Changer Wrestling, they have gone from filling venues like we would to now going to legit venues with 5,000 seats and selling them out. And it's because of their hardcore nature and some of the stars that they're willing to bring in.
So let me ask you a question, Jay. And does that go back? Would you have to agree? I would imagine you would. GCW is a professional wrestling company supplying us entertainment.
Oh, yes.
And that's the thing. And the thing is, I think more and more fans are waking the fans, the last of the, I guess, I'd say the not the newest generational fans, but everything prior to that, including ourselves and the generation after us, they're getting fed up with the WWE and the shit that it's getting put out.
Buddy, I don't make it a point to watch WWE.
I just had this conversation with my buddy. that I game with, and he's a wrestling fan, and he was saying, we talked. He knows I was in the business. He's like 12, 13 years younger than me. And what?
Bill Romanowski on YouTube watching this. If this is really Bill Romanowski, that's hilarious. Any fans of the Blood Hunter? If this really is Bill Romanowski, he had a great career in Boston College and for the LA or the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos, man. You were an intense individual. Oh, and you played for the 49ers too. You were great during your heyday. Thanks for tuning in. If this really is Bill Romanowski.
So,
Oh my God, this is definitely shoot the shit Saturday. That's for sure.
So with all this stuff going on with the budget cuts and the releases, how do you guys think it's going to affect their stock?
it goes up, right? You're paying less.
Actually, today it
Still
went.
pulling it.
Today it went down by $1.60 or 1.62%.
Oh, your profits are going to go up. Stock's probably going down, but your stock's going down, I think, because the product sucks. The only thing worth watching is Roman Reigns. That's it.
Stock's actually been progressively going down, unfortunately. I know I'm losing money.
But the problem, I mean, just listen. If they want it, I'll tell you how the stock skyrockets. Break the fourth wall. Go through the forbidden door. Have AEW walk on your. Have CM Punk, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks fucking jump right over the rail, walk right on, beat the shit out of somebody and say, tune in Tuesday night to AEW and walk off. And want to see your stock go through the roof, it'll go through the roof because now fans are going to be invested. Like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's worth watching is fucking Roman Reigns, and that's it.
It is.
Kind of really back in the day like ECW did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, people want it. People want this fourth wall, the forbidden door to be broken down.
What is the main storyline on Raw right now?
There is no main
one?
story.
No, there isn't. You're right. There isn't.
Becky right now in Charlotte with their real fight / match. But other than that, the main storyline is Kevin Owens turning
Big E, Kevin
heel.
Owens.
Big E, Wade, Seth Rollins is gonna done trying to play his version of the fucking Joker, and it sucks. And Omos continually defeating up tag teams. Now they dropped out the Dirty Dogs. That's it. And Randy Orton and what's his face? There's no storyline.
Yeah.
No. Liv Morgan is gonna challenge Becky.
They gotta run with.
That's it.
Go, Pelly.
They gotta run with AJ Styles. AJ Styles need to run heel or face. They gotta put AJ Styles. They gotta put the program on his shoulders and run with him some way.
I totally 100,000,000% agree that AJ Styles needs to be the top dog on Monday Night Raw. And I'm sorry for I don't mean this, but Big E, you're just, I'm sorry. There was a reason why you was the head cheerleader, other than Xavier Woods of the New Day.
He's a transitional champion. That's all he is.
Yeah, I have never thought that Big E Langston as a game changer. I think he's terrific on the stick. Don't get me wrong, but he would be a much better 1980s, early 90s heel with a classic manager in his corner.
If Big E is in the wrong generation, Big E would have been the perfect spot for Big E would have been the Nation of Domination. But that won't happen. And it's sad to say, but I agree. He is a placeholder, but they're not pulling that title off him anytime soon.
Nope.
No time soon. It is.
And that's what's going to hurt their product even more.
And I want to say it has nothing to do with the wrestling business. It has everything to do with the world that we live in right now.
Totally agree.
And that's not a racist statement by any means. I'm just simply saying
No,
it's time.
It's not a race. Can I tell you something? You should have. It's the world we live in now that you have to say everything isn't racial when it's factual.
Right. Because if you don't, people will take it the wrong way and start crapping on everybody.
Exactly.
People get ass hurt for no reason.
Yep.
You know, not to bring it up, it has nothing to do with wrestling, but I had this conversation yesterday with somebody who was very adamantly upset at the Kyle Rittenhouse.
It took you a half an hour to get this out. I was waiting for it. Go on.
So
good. I'll tell you my assumption afterwards.
Me too.
Right? So it was there was no justice. No justice prevailed. Where's the social injustice? Then I turn the television on while I'm having this conversation, and I see there's, if it was a black man, if it was this and that, and I said to the person, I go, so there's no justice because it didn't fit your narrative, because you didn't see what you wanted, you didn't get what you wanted, and I said ultimately, I go, if this was a black guy and he was found innocent, would your opinion be different? If it was a man of any type of other descent other than white Caucasian and he was found innocent, you would be screaming, yes, 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 justice has prevailed. Justice prevailed. I go, it's because this kid's a white kid. Let's be honest. And to a point, there was no getting them to come out and blatantly say, yes, it was. They found every excuse under the book. And I said, listen, at the end of the day, the justice system prevailed because the prosecution presented a case. Again, make a case. They brought it to court. The prosecution and the defense selected jurors. Those jurors then listened to all the evidence, viewed the evidence, took it all in, listened to the case, and decided that this guy was innocent. Case closed. He was judged and tried by a jury of peers that he knows none of them, that was selected by a prosecution and a defense and found innocent. That is the justice system. And if he was found guilty, that is the justice system. And it would have been, hey, listen, that's justice. He was found guilty. He was found innocent. Case closed. But that's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
The world we live in is, I'm gonna say it. You have no, I have no problem saying it. If you're white, you're guilty. You're a racist. You're a sexist. You're a homophobe. If you're a white guy, that's it.
I 100% agree. So,
and
go on.
I just say, and it transcends to the wrestling business in a way, because, in my opinion, is we're seeing certain gimmicks and we're seeing certain things being fed to us lately because they're going with social media. They're going with what's the popular opinion. They're going with, well, if Hollywood says that is something, like what happened to Jackson Riker a couple of years ago when he supported Donald Trump and offended, no offense, Big E. If you remember, Big E was very offended, and the New Day, they were offended by what he said because it was Donald Trump. So that Jackson Riker was punished for that. Yet we live in a country where this is freedom of speech. And so if you supported Donald Trump openly, you got in trouble for it. And Jackson Riker did, because he openly supported Donald Trump. And, and I think that we see some gimmicks and we see some stuff going on. And I think we're seeing certain people being pushed that, in my opinion,
don't deserve it.
Carry a fucking company. Roman Reigns, yes. Big E, no. Kofi, no. No offense. Finn Balor, it would have made more sense to have Finn Balor win the King of the Ring title and then go on a fucking tear, go on this like, I'm the king. I'm going to go out and be the best of the best and have feuds with AJ Styles, have feuds with Seth Rollins, have feuds with Cesaro, and eventually pitting him against one of the champions. And where if you're the true king of the ring, you shouldn't be fucking losing. Go back to the days when it was Stone Cold, when Stone Cold was the king of the ring. That was the starting point, knowing full well that person was going to be a WWE champion. Bret Hart, Stone Cold. Should have been Finn Balor. No offense. It shouldn't have been. Given it, I love Xavier. I love him. Best worker, one of the best workers they got. But look, they've already destroyed the gimmick in 2 weeks on SmackDown. The gimmick's destroyed. It's done. That you wasted the King of the Ring gimmick.
By smashing all that shit and making him look like an idiot.
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm off. I'm getting off my.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
All right. So we all know I call him my son, Joey Kilmartin. He put up a post, and I mean, I don't know what it was. So I just put, huh? And he put, don't you watch television? And I put, you should know me. My TV's always on. ESPN or NBC Sports New England. So then, some idiot puts up a comment on, don't you know there's other existence and means of television like CNN, Fox, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So I put, if I ain't into it, I ain't watching it. Point blank. I could care, and I'm sorry, less. I've never been one for the news. I've never been one for anybody else's views. My 2 eyes are good enough to tell me right from wrong. And I live by the oath of I treat people the way I want to be treated. I don't care if you're, like the rap song says, black, brown, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. I treat you all the same. Point blank. And I don't really like, then when I found out what this was all about, all you had to tell me was the simple fact that this kid felt his life was going to be threatened, and he blasted people away in the middle of a riot. Do I feel bad for the people that died? Yes, I do feel bad for the people that died. Their families, I do. Do I feel bad for the kid that shot the people dead? Yes, I feel bad because he has to live with the horrific memories of shooting 3 people point blank dead.
2.
So whether or not he's guilty and or innocent, that man forever will have the imprint of killing 3 human beings in his brain, or 2, for the rest of his or her life. Whether or not they were guilty or innocent. I can tell you this. If I seen people coming after me and I feared for my life, I do the same thing.
The evidence showed he was under attack. He was getting ambushed.
Whether or not he...
The guy was attacking him on a fucking skateboard. I mean, he had a weapon.
And then people try to turn it on. Oh, the people that were that got shot and whatnot, they deserved it because they were a pedophile or they were a ex this or that. It don't say over their head, I'm an ex-convict floating. Like, how the fuck does he know? The ridiculous stuff that floats out of people's mouths nowadays is so retarded.
Can't say retarded anymore.
I said it. I said it. I don't believe anything like this changes my life because it doesn't involve me. But yes, it does involve human life, and that aspect of it gets me. Whether or not the guy was guilty or innocent, he'll have the scars in his brain. The people who lost family members will have scars in their brains. It's a lousy situation, whether or not guilty and or innocent. But I truly, truly believe if this was a black guy that did it, and the black guy was found, so to speak, guilty in this world, there'd be an uproar. There would have been a uproar.
Well, how's about this one, Jay? How's about the celebrities and the athletes all coming to fucking, where's the justice? Where's the this? LeBron James shitting all over the kid, talking about why is he crying like that? Almost calling him out to be a fake crier. And it's like, but if that was, and I'm gonna say it, if that was a person of color and they were found innocent, you would have had the street people would have been in the streets dancing. If that was a person of color, the celebrity would have been all over it saying justice is done, justice, thank you. The problem we live with, the problem is, Jay, and I'm going to say it, and I think everybody would agree. And this goes to all the news networks. We don't get a news network that tells us the facts. It says, here are the facts, formulate your opinion. We have two networks that tell us if you're Republican, you're terrible, you're hatred, you're evil, you like Trump, you're evil. And you have another one that completely counters it. It goes the opposite end of the spectrum. We don't have anything in the middle. That's just about it. The problem is we live in a day and age where social media, the internet, YouTube, celebrities have decided how to tell us how to raise our children, how to live our lives, and what is right and wrong.
All right. So enough with the real life. I think we would agree, unless anybody wants to add a cent or two.
I didn't get my chance.
No, Mike wants to say something, but I got something to say after that.
Let's go.
So I agree with everything that Capelli is saying. I agree with you as well, Jay. The thing that really burns my ass is everyone's making it into a racial thing. He didn't kill any black people. He killed 3 white people.
Oh, being like Jay.
So for people to go on Twitter and on Facebook, and some of them are friends of mine, and some of them are in the business, that I sit on my hands and don't say nothing, need to get their heads out of their asses and wake up, because it's not a racial thing. The kid, so our own president, moron that he is, called this kid a white supremacist, knew nothing about the situation, just came out and said the kid's a white supremacist. He has no idea. First of all, he was protecting his grandmother and grandfather's pharmacy. They all live in Kenosha. He didn't bring a gun over state lines. That's why he got thrown out. It was given to him when he got there. He stopped a dumpster fire. They were pushing towards the gas station to blow up. So if you're not following this situation, shut the fuck up and stop turning it into a race card, because it's not. He killed three white people. He didn't kill 3 black people. He killed 3 white people that were, or I'm sorry, 2. You're right. Sorry, Chris, 2. And he wounded 1. So he shot him in the arm and he killed the other 2. But what I'm saying is that if you saw the video from the beginning, the first person he shot was looking to start trouble, was looking for a fight. The kid with the skateboard, same thing. The other person who admitted on the stand, and this is the reason why he was acquitted, it was that he was looking to shoot Rittenhouse. So, again, I agree with everything Capelli says. I agree with Jay. I'm done. Go ahead, Mickey.
So, first let me say I do agree with Capelli, and I agree with everything everybody said. On the flip side to this, from the law enforcement perspective, and this is where I want to say, Capelli, Jerumble, APOC, you guys have known me for years. What you don't know about me is I was actually a cop for 13 years in New York City.
God help them.
And I've been shot twice and I've been stabbed, and I've had to kill in the line of duty twice. So what you were saying about having that imprint in your memory, yeah, it never leaves you. And
That explains why you're
bad.
fucked up.
I do feel bad for, not like you said, the families. The holidays are very hard for me because I think about the families of the person of the life that I took. Did I have a choice? No, because they pulled a gun on me. I had no choice but to shoot. I had no choice. And from that perspective, I agree with you, Jason, that it's always going to be in their memory, and it's always going to be something that they think about. There's times that I'll wake up in the middle of the night just freaking out because I'm thinking something's going on. And it's hard. It's hard to deal with that. It's hard to deal with that, knowing that you took somebody's life. So when people talk about, oh, Black Lives Matter, this, like, to me, all, like you said, Jason, human life matters.
Yep.
People got to stop with all this black and white, because Michael Jackson said it best. It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
That's right.
You got to be united. It's the United States of America, not the United States of Black America, not the United States of white America. It's the United States of America.
I totally agree.
So real quick, and I want to interject. So I've never owned a gun before. I went out and got my license to carry in all 50 states, and I carry a gun no matter where I go, because this world is going to shit in a handbasket. I'm sorry. It's bad. I don't trust anybody. It's bad.
I'm taking my safety course after the first of the year.
I have a 9mm and 16 in the clip, and they're all hollow point. If you're coming after me, I'm taking you with me.
See, that's one of the good things about me being retired law enforcement. I don't need a pistol permit to carry anywhere in the country.
Yeah, well, because you used to be an officer, that's why. So it's just, and again, everybody on my mother's side of the family, they're all in law enforcement. My brother-in-law's a detective in the state police, so I didn't really have an issue getting my permit. But still, you know what I mean? It's just, it's bad. This world's going downhill.
But true.
Very much so. And honestly, today, I wouldn't be a cop in today's society. It's gotten so bad for law enforcement on a whole.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Pelly, what do you think?
I have at my house. I got 4 handguns, an AR-15. My next one, shotgun. Then I'm buying another handgun. So I have an arsenal.
Yeah,
AR-15.
I'm going after a 9, and then I'm buying an automatic.
Capelli, do you have the 22 model, or do you have the real AR-15?
I have the real AR-15.
Jeff, what I thought there, Rumble?
Yep.
I was at church today working, and I was talking to my boss, my buddy, about this. Most of this is spread by the media, and the media spreads fear. And it's the same with what's going on with this trial, what's going on with COVID, what's going on with riots and stuff. It's like, I don't know to turn on the news what to believe or not anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What are you supposed to believe when you turn on the news, and what's right, what's wrong? Social media, it's the same thing. So, I don't know, man. Just I didn't hear much about this shooting. It wasn't very well. It wasn't very much. Even though it did get the United States.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So, no, if it wasn't really perpetuated by the media, it was the media that propelled everything down there. It's the social media that does it all, and it's more of a control thing, if anything else. If you know what I'm saying, I'm making sense at all. So.
I get you. All right. So we got about 10 minutes left or so before we're gonna wrap things up here. Let's just get into quickly, how many of us will take the time tomorrow? I know I am, for the simple fact is I have a 5-year-old kid that already knows what time Survivor Series is on, and
I'll watch it.
no matter how bad the WWE gets, I'll always be the WWE will always be the promotion I go to.
It's a
Just the
Survivor
way it
Series.
is. Yep. So basically, I'll run down the card real quick. As you know, it's Roman and Big E. You have Becky versus Flair. We have the 5-on-5 elimination teams for men and women.
A stupid battle royal.
Yeah, we get the Raw tag team champs against, the SmackDown tag team champs. Vice versa on the United States champion versus the Intercontinental champion. I believe this match is going to be a real good one. Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura. That's one match I look forward to seeing tomorrow. And a 25-person dual brand battle royal.
Waste of time.
So,
well, it's to honor The Rock.
I was just going to say, so it's to honor The Rock. What do you think the chances of The Rock coming and showing up tomorrow for his 25-year anniversary are?
He's saying no, but I think they're going to swerve everybody. I think he shows up.
Who?
The Rock.
The Rock. Tomorrow's his 25-year anniversary of debuting with WWE.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't know. I think he is, because I think Roman Reigns kind of gave it away on Jimmy Fallon without trying to give it away. It only makes sense. He comes back tonight, then he draws number 30 at the Royal Rumble, comes out at the Rumble, and that's it. Does his thing. I'm gonna say so.
Does he get injured in the Rumble and blow his WrestleMania fucking chance?
Stop it!
He comes out number 30. I'm going to predict it. It's far-fetched, but I'm going to predict it. The last number's 28. The last two guys in the ring before whatchamacallit will be the Usos in the ring. They'll be 28 and 29. They'll go to get out of the ring. Number 30, if you smell, and then he comes out, throws them out.
Place just, yep.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through some predictions. Let's start with probably what I think is going to be what everyone's really waiting to see: Charlotte versus Becky. Do you think we get a legitimate match, or do you think there's going to be some legitimate stiffness?
I hope she beats the crap out of Flair and dents that fake nose.
Who wins? Vince put over.
Becky.
Wow.
Becky.
Who wins?
Becky.
So did any of you guys watch that Ric Flair thing that Forbes posted?
No.
I'll tell you.
Oh, were they taking his career away or his legacy?
Yeah, that was a good listen.
Listen, they're not taking his legacy away. He did it to himself. I mean, all the shit that's coming out about him, and people are backing up. That's it. That's on him. That's not on WWE.
And then he's like, "Oh, those two belts are my legacy. I want them back."
I think Charlotte Flair comes out on top on this one. I think Vince wants to.
You need a slap for even saying that.
I understand. I'm not a Charlotte Flair fan. I'm not. But I believe that she comes out on top for the simple fact of he wants to keep within good graces of Charlotte, and keeping Charlotte under the WWE banner is just good for him right now.
Why?
I mean,
why?
It's good. She draws. Whether we hate her or not, she draws.
She does draw.
They want to see Charlotte lose. They want to see what Vince is going to. So she draws, and it's unfortunate because.
And I think, regardless or not, it keeps the Flair name alive, whether Ric Flair's there or not.
Dude, the day she gets released, I'm running naked down fucking Main Street in Pelham. I'm not even kidding you.
Okay.
Hey, next match. Heat versus Roman. I think it's pretty safe to say Roman's winning that one.
I disagree.
Yes.
I believe there is going to be a fuck up of some way, shape, or form with the bloodline, and I believe that Big E gets the spoof victory 1, 2, 3 over Roman. Hear me out.
Yeah, then let me go.
For the simple fact that the WWE has become predictable with the Roman Reigns outcomes, and I think it keeps the fans on their heels with that.
That's why it's going to be Reigns.
Well, here's my take on it. I believe Reigns is going to win. The Usos are going to be putting the boots to Big E, and The Rock comes out and stops it. That's what I think.
Like you nailed it. That could be it. That's where The Rock comes out. And just so you know, Jay, come on now. You know WWE, the Go Home show. Big E went over. If the person goes over on the Go Home show, they don't go over on the fucking pay-per-view. So
bingo.
Thank you. So
I'm just telling you I'm just telling you one of the things. I'm giving you a perspective of what I read, and what I read, I tend to like what I read. So I think by throwing the fans a swerve and seeing Big E go over Roman Reigns, I think it's good for the product.
No,
I think it's even bigger swerve to have The Rock come out though. Like
yeah, it would. It would.
Yeah, I mean, if Big E goes over, he goes over as a disqualification.
Whatever way, I'll take it whichever way it comes. I am just saying.
He just wants to be right. That's all.
Big E gets his hand raised in victory, whether it is a disqualification or some type of schmoz finish. I like it. I'm gonna go with it.
All right. Lastly, who goes over? And I think this is pretty standard. I think I already can answer this one, but I'll ask you guys: Damian Priest or Shinsuke Nakamura? And I think it's pretty easy.
Priest.
Damian Priest.
Agreed.
Who wins on the women's 5-on-5?
SmackDown.
SmackDown. I think you see Selena Vega in the ring.
I agree.
Yeah, I look at it this way. You got Team SmackDown is Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler. From what it says here, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm.
Yeah.
And the Raw team is Bianca, Liv, Rhea Ripley, and Selena Vega, along with Carmella. So you're thinking the Raw girls go over, huh?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's right, Selena. No, I think it's the SmackDown girls. Yeah, and I do think it's the Raw girls. I think what happens is Toni Storm's the last girl in the ring for SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. How about for the men's? SmackDown or Raw?
Raw.
Yeah, I think somehow, some way, Kevin Owens gets the push in this match.
Okay.
Yeah, because they want to keep him.
That's right. All right. And now, who wins this 25-man battle royal?
Who cares?
Who the fuck cares?
Who cares? I don't.
So there's one thing that confused the hell out of me with SmackDown last night.
Hopefully that's on the pre-show.
The Rock comes out and wins it.
Why all of a sudden are they sticking Shayna Baszler back in the tag team match, and why would they put her with Natty Neidhart? When she was just in a 6-month feud with her.
Because they don't know what to do with her.
Because she's next to be released.
Who?
Baszler.
With that being said, I'm done.
Hey, you wait and see. She'll be released.
I'm good.
Get out with her man eyebrows. Get out.
Well, she's the female Baron Corbin.
Telling you, she's getting that.
I still believe she's the best legit female wrestler they have on the roster.
Of course she is, but she's going to get released.
Goodbye. On that statement, end the show now.
Who
His
is a better
zoo head's
pound for
getting red
pound
now.
for real
better than-
wrestler?
Baszler as a female wrestler? Do I need to go down a list? I can start with Sasha Banks. Then I can go to Charlotte Flair. I can go to Becky Lynch. Fuck, Alexa Bliss is a better wrestler than fucking Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler's never been given the right
Bianca
opportunity,
Belair.
and I believe she's
Uh,
real.
She's not a no. Sorry, bud. Sorry. Mandy Rose is a better fucking wrestler.
Oh my God! She would take Mandy Rose's freaking arm and break it off and feed it to her. She's real.
Here we go. Here we go.
I
Where's
agree.
my popcorn?
See, as
I'm with
soon as
Rumble.
the heat starts, we know you're not a chef because you leave the kitchen.
I don't
Forbes
need to leave
Jr.
the kitchen. I cooked my fucking meal and it's already been served.
Cooked it. Shayna Baszler, pound for pound, is the
Shayna.
realest wrestler that the
Oh,
most credible worker they have because
Oh my
legitimately.
God.
Because legitimately, she could beat the hell out of any girl in the division. Give me one
That
girl
is
in a
until
legit.
that is
in a
until
legit-
Ronda Rousey comes back.
If
Whoa, whoa,
that's,
whoa,
I'm not
whoa.
putting Ronda Rousey there, but you're absolutely right. Who's beating her in a parking lot brawl? Who?
You're talking about mixed martial arts versus professional wrestling. Totally two separate fucking things, buddy. Two
Ding ding.
separate-
Round 17.
I'm just telling
two
you.
separate-
I'm
Al.
from Walter Killer Kowalski School of Wrestling,
You're-
and in
that's right,
my eyes, perception is everything. And she's
Yeah.
the realest son of a bitch on the roster. She should be treated as such. And Walter would say the same thing. He'd be like,
Oh,
how
really?
does that bitch jump to a girl in a bikini for crying out loud? She'd beat
Who's
half
the
of you
toughest
boys
male-
up.
Costa. Who's the toughest male wrestler on? Matt Riddle. Are you gonna tell me Matt Riddle looks perception is reality? So
I
it
think
looks like
Bobby
he's
Lashley would give Matt Riddle a run for his money. I think Brock Lesnar would give Matt Riddle a run
Brock
for his
Lesnar.
money.
Friend, active roster. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That's an
I can
active
give you some more people. How about if Shelton Benjamin is still on that roster? He would hand Matt Riddle a beating.
wrestler, not fighter,
Charlie
my friend.
Haas.
The amateur wrestlers, not fighters. Fucking Matt Riddle's a fighter. You know the difference between
And I
professional-
believe, yes, I do. And I believe Shelton Benjamin's real life wrestling skills would come in very favorably and quite possibly would take him over Matt Riddle.
No fucking way. If you ever watch Matt Riddle fight, you know that.
Never watched a UFC fight. All I
I
know
did.
is this.
It's a fucking kid.
If you're a legit UFC guy, you're not in the WWE at 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, you are if you're getting paid good money.
Ladies,
Log
are we
in.
done fighting?
Hey, my friend.
Agree to disagree.
Shayna Baszler is not the best pound for pound professional fucking wrestler in the WWE. I'll leave it
Okay,
at that.
I may have said wrestler. How about this? She's the most realistical thing they have to being legit. And
No, you
she should
now,
be,
now go smoke another one because no,
she
that's
should
not
be
true.
treated as such.
Shut up. Shut it. Just
She
shut
should
up.
be treated as such.
Listen,
Sorry.
Forbes. Listen, Forbes. Quiet down.
My God, dude, Jimmy Fingers is getting over on you. What's going on? Are you been fishing with Jimmy Fingers? Is that your problem? You
I
guys
don't know
are
how to
fishing
fish.
for this, my friend. A little much.
No, it's
You-
not enough lately, buddy. I work too much. I can't even handle it.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Today I had the day off, so I decided to partake because I only can at night. So during the day today, I did, and I went into a restaurant to pick up food, and I had to fucking leave. I was like, I'm too stoned. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
What? Mr.
I had
Wake and Bake?
I had like a panic attack and shit.
Mr. Wake and Bake is too much to
Buddy, I don't
handle?
know nothing about that no more.
Wow.
That's been at least a good 2 years.
Wow.
I'm different now, man.
You're old.
That's what
Yep.
they all say.
You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to the Jason Rumble that I know.
Buddy, I
dare
am.
you.
I'm nothing like that.
Dude, the Jason Rumble I know had one when he woke up, had one 10 minutes after his coffee, had one with his coffee, had one
Oh, yeah.
when he got had one when we got out of the car, when he got back into the car.
You used to walk through the front door and get a contact high instantly. What the fuck's going on? Go over his house and all you see is a cloud of smoke.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, boys.
You
Listen,
too.
next week, same time, same bat channel. And I want to thank everybody in Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube for watching. Enjoy the Survivor Series tomorrow night, 8 p.m. for those of you in the United States, streaming on the Peacock Network. Canada, get the WWE channel.
Kelly, one thing I got to
don't
tell
go
you,
nowhere
buddy.
when you're done.
Kelly, this next weekend, my daughter, 2 colleges. We got a soccer tournament. 2 colleges coming to watch her.
Good.
Perfect.
It's good, brother.
Good for you, buddy.
So
And,
we'll
and
see.
buy,
Awesome.
everybody, and buy Pelly's book.
Yes. The
And-
Fisherman's Fisherman's Game.
And hopefully Mickey Biggs is working hard on becoming the voice of the Fisherman's Game, so I can soon buy it and give it a listen.
And there's the
Right.
Jason Rumble we all know, the epitome of laziness.
If
Later,
you can
boy.
watch it, why read it?
Later.
Happy Thanksgiving, Capelli. All right, everybody. For
Boy,
Jason-
you got his kazoo head all riled up.
Oh
That was
yeah, I love it.
great.
I don't really believe she's one of the great. I just believe she's the.
You're such a dick.
How do I put it? She has the most realistical characterizations that you would believe.
She's
That
getting released, trust me.
okay, I believe it. Just after seeing her in pink and tons of makeup the other night to look like
Yeah.
Natty Nineheart's club date was, just yeah. So
Here's the hook, and she's getting right off.
all right, fellas, I have been here 3 minutes too late. With that being said, have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see everybody next Saturday night. We're over, we're out with no doubt. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. We'll see.